All right, guys, welcome back to another edition of Does He Know It Ball podcast with your host Joseph Michael Easterday. Um, I got a lot on the docket today. I wish I could put a kind of graphic on the screen here just to show what we have on the docket, first of all. But yeah, we're going to have a lot on the docket today. We're going to go through the top 25 rankings. We're going to go through the top 25 matchup. We're going to go through our own edition of the Bowser's Butte, which is going to be a kind of mountain-like structure for the entire league, where they stack up against the competition and what tiers every player is in. It's not very hard to imagine what it's going to be. Now that I'm running over it live, I mean, it was obviously posted onto our Instagram page some odd days ago. So obviously the starting butte is posted right there. I'm going to go over the changes from that post and just what we're kind of doing throughout in the entire segment. Then I want to run over player highlights, which I'm probably going to touch on when I go over the butte. It's not that different from the butte when I run over like the tiers and stuff. So those will probably be combined into a single segment, but you're just gonna have to wait and find out to see. And we're also going to go over awards, and we're going to also go over obviously front runners for the awards, the season ending awards, which I'll go over when I get to that. And then we're going to have some breaking news, a little bit of drama cooking up in the kitchen here, going around the league. Got some whispers from some different teams about some different things. Again, I'll touch more on that when we get there. And then obviously, I love to round out this whole segment with my one big thing. So, firstly, let's go over the top 25 rankings. Let me just pull them up here, trying to just look at it. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure they're posted already. Um, but running through the top 25 rankings for this week, as you see the video that was posted onto the Instagram page. Uh Running through the top 25 rankings, we have at number one, we have the Animals, then the Tails, then the Mashers, then the Heroes, the Cupids at five, the Bombers at six, the Mansioneers at seven, the Monarchs at eight, the Petals at nine, the Flames at 10, the Lilies at 11, the Vacuums at 12, the Gentlemen at 13, the Flutters at 14, the Rookies at 15, the Kongs at 16, the Speed Stars at 17, the Mystiques at 18, the Roses at 19, the Fangs at 20, the Islanders at 21, the Pixies at 22, the Steakheads at 23, the Monsters at 24, and then the Greats at 25 with I'll just mention because it's always nice to mention the honorable mentions. With the Red Caps, the Queen Bees surprisingly, not only surprisingly getting one vote, they got more than one vote, but that's a little subjective there. The Leapers also got a vote, and the Blue Shells got a vote. Red Caps obviously got two votes. Um, yeah, so let's hop right into this. I don't think that I'm going to go through every single placement, but I will go over most of them, and it probably will end up me going over all of them because I do want to talk about how they've risen and fallen in our top 25 rankings. I also want to say this is a very accurate ranking because all four of the kind of overseers of this league, kind of the just everybody here at the studio, we like to say, we all got our lists in for who we think should be a top 25. I'm not going to I'm not going to release them, even though I have them. I'm just going to keep them as what they ranked up to be in the video that was released. So without further ado, let's get to number one, the animals. I love this. I definitely do think that the animals should be number one, even though I will let you know I put them number two. I thought the tails were better, but I definitely do love the animals being number one just because their their offense is insane. I mean, they crushed every team they've played, and they've played some pretty good teams. I mean, what was it? They shut out the whatchamacallies. Um cut out this part when before I said shut out. Uh but no, the animals are a perfect pick for number one. They're DK obviously is killing it. He's top five player in the league, top three player in the league. I mean, very 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 made for this game. He's definitely one of the prime faces of our league. Uh, it's no surprise to see he leads the number one team, and then just all the firepower around him. Not only do you have Donkey Kong, who's amazing bat, pretty decent pitcher too. Obviously comes in a backup. You also have Bowser, Yoshi, Monty Mole, and Petey Piranha. I mean, I went over this last week. That's literally probably not only the three best captains, but top three, as you'll see with our butte in the coming segments. Top three, probably top five players in the league. It definitely definitely not surprised to see the DK Animals up here at number one. But to save all that, I want to go over the tails now at number two. They dropped from one last week. Obviously, the Animals and tails switch spots. I do like the tails offense. I do like their defense too. Got some very quality fielding, very quality. Like these top two teams are possibly the pinnacle of every facet of the game. But what the animals do that the tails don't, and I failed to realize this when I was crafting my top 25, the animals do what Nintendo don't. They the animals have faced alarmingly better competition than the tails this year. I don't think the tails have I I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive that the Tails haven't played a ranked team this entire year. So, I mean, they are very good at everything on the field, but it's kind of hard to stay number one for multiple weeks when you're playing bottom, not to put it very bluntly, bottom barrel teams that aren't very like again, they're not in the top 25. They haven't been in the top 25 this entire season. That's very easy competition. It's not like you're going to hold that position for multiple weeks when you're just playing pee-wee ball. It's especially when the people that are under you say, in this case, the animals and the mashers, very, very emphasizing the mashers, but not because I'm biased, just because I know their schedule is super hard. But these two teams have played very tough competition, and while the Mashers have played better competition than the Animals, I still say the Animals have shown themselves to be great competitors. Whether it's a bottom tier team or a top tier team, they don't play down to their competition, and they look unstoppable as of this point. The Tails, they've just not played good enough competition. I mean, They look like the animals, but all we can say is their strength of schedule hasn't held up. Literally, it's not their fault. It's only I'm not saying it's the commissioner's fault or any it's just how the game works and how the schedule has came out that the Tails just don't have that strength of schedule to keep them competing at or to keep them squarely in number one for multiple weeks. So that's that. I do want to say I'm very happy that the Masters moved up to third. I definitely think I put them a little lower on my list just because one, I didn't want to be biased, but two, I didn't really think that they showed much over the I do really like the animals and the tails over the Masters. Um obviously a few more I've had a few similar opinions from the other guys. They've somewhat agreed with me. The Masters landing at three is very lovely. I could say that they should be higher just because, as I was saying, their strength of schedule. I think they've literally only played top 10 teams this year. I know they've all been ranked, but I'm almost positive that all three teams this year have been top 10 ranked. Um, I do want to say that I'm very happy for my Masters. Things are going swimmingly. I mean, we're winning a lot of very tough games by a marginal amount. Like, I think the last two wins was by one run. So, I mean, a win is a win. A win is a win, especially in this league. And once you can put it all together, a one run win is just as is just as important as a 10-run win. Because even though we do settle tiebreakers off of run differential, it's still getting you in that win column. I mean, again, top 10 teams, if you can just beat them outright, that looks so good for the ranking. Like, that's just objective. But I don't want to spend too much time on my mashers. I do want to toss it over to the heroes. They move up one spot from five last week. Obviously, the Mashers moved up one spot from four last week. Uh, for Heroes, Heroes playing really good ball. Mario finally having his his shining moment with the Heroes because it was common team, and usually they don't get the greatest RNG because of the league and the roster put together for the Heroes on a night-to-night basis isn't like the All Stars or the Animals. Like you're not getting Yoshi, Bowser, Petey Piranha, Donkey Kong on like guaranteed. It's just all up to RNG. But despite that, Mario's still carrying his team into top five. And honestly, like I said, I'm pretty sure I said last week, they did benefit a good bit from the RNG. I'm pretty sure they've swung above their weight class with the RNG. They're kind of batting 1,000 with it, but it's still a very great team and very deserving of a top five ranking. Um, Cupids move up to five from 10 last week. The Cupids are like an underdog, man. I really like how they play. They're definitely one of the favorites just for like that dark horse kind of deep playoff run just because the Cupids have so much star power with the Daisy and all of the balance characters. I mean, again, Daisy's as you will see one of the top five players in the league, and the balance character majority is, in my opinion, probably the best character archetype you can have for like five out of your nine players, just because there's so many people you can just plug and play. It's not very hard to find somewhere to place these people. Because I mean, even though they don't have they're jack of all trades, masters of none, you can still put them, throw them in left field, throw them in right field, throw them on the bases, throw them in catcher. Like you can throw them, say, on the field, throw your not balanced characters on the corners, and then throw probably, I don't know, another one of the balanced characters on the mound, and I mean they're going to pitch a very good game. Not it's not crazy to say that the balanced character majority is very good just from a team standpoint because everybody can do everything. So there's not really many weaknesses there. Not surprised that they came up, and I do look forward to seeing them probably on the top side of this ranking for probably the rest of the season, I would say. The Bombers, I do want to say that they came up 2-6 from 12 last year or last week. Again, they're very good team. Uh, I don't have much to say about them, even though they are a really good team. Just want to say, Bowser Jr. He leads a very good team, power character majority team. They usually get because most of the greatest characters on this in this game are power character majority. You got DK, Bowser, um, um, Wario, like uh, I think I've just named all the power character captains, but that's literally perfect for the RNG. I mean, to play as the Bombers, you need power character majority, and four of those characters are the best eight, nine, seven, five players in the league. Like it's not that hard. It's not that outlandish to say that the game. I know I said that the balanced character majority is best for plug and play, but the power character majority is more catered towards the game and the league. So you're definitely getting a good. I would say you're getting a very good team comp there with the power character majority just based off of everything. Um, Now moving to the next one, the Mansioneers, they stay steadfast at 7. Uh, I do like the Mansioneers. Um, they're very good. Luigi does a very nice job carrying this team, but they also get Boo, Bowser, Red Toad, which has been going off lately, King Boo. I mean, everybody on this team that you have to have for this team to play, if they're not canceled out, once you get them on a night to night basis, they're all going off. Luigi is a great captain, top half captain, I would say. Bowser, best player in the league. Boo, best pitcher in the league. King Boo, very great bat. Very great behind the plate. Very great. Not as great in the field, but he's just a very good piece to have on your team overall. And Red Toad is very hot right now. As you'll see when we get to the Butte, Toad will be. This is just a sneak peek, but Toad will probably be in a place that you didn't expect from last week. Um, but yeah, no, this is a very good team. Um, Very happy that they're at 7. They probably could have even went up more, but for right now, 7 is a very good place to put them. Very happy to see them there. 8, the Monarchs. They fell off a little bit from 6 last week. Peach got a very good team. Don't need to really run through it again. Not a lot I want to say about the Monarchs. They're good, obviously. They're really good. They have Peach and Daisy, which is a great combo. Toad, again, that I talked about, he's very hot. Toadette, very great base runner. Toadsworth, very great bat, pretty good in the field. Toadette, obviously speed, so she's good in the field too. Um, but yeah, very balanced team normally when nobody's canceled out. But I can say that I think that 8 for the Monarchs is very good. There have been definitively 7 teams this week that have been better than them. So I'm not very mad with the Monarchs falling to 8. The Petals go up to 7, or 7. The Petals go up to 9, as I said. Again, don't have much to say about the Petals. Not the like when I say not the greatest, I don't mean the top tier team comp that I've been talking about with like 5 of the past 7 teams ish. Um, Birdo, Dixie Kong, Wario, PD Piranha, Daisy. Obviously a very solid roster together. RNG helps a little bit, but when they're not canceled out, Daisy's good, Birdo's good, Dixie Kong's good, Wario's good, PD Piranha's good. They're just a very good team. Not a great team. They're a very good team, and I think they're definitely deserving of this 9 spot. Just to round out the single digits for this top 25 here. Now, I do want to get into the Flames, who've dropped a very, very long way from the number 3 spot last week, which is very surprising. They lost. I mean, there's not much to say there. They lost. It's kind of hard when there are, what, 9, 10 undefeated teams in the league, and to stay top 10 when you were 2-1 and the other teams are 3-0. And I'm pretty sure the team that they lost to was was like a top 5 team. So it's very self-explanatory there. Not much to say. It's just sad to see them fall from 3 to 7. But enough about the Flames. Going to the Lilies at 11. They're pretty good, obviously. Their run differential, I think, for the 2-1 teams are their run differential, I think, is the second most behind the Flames, obviously. Um, I do want to say they've made a big jump up from 17 last week. Uh, they have, oh yeah, it's just Daisy's common team. So again, it's Daisy, which is a really great all-around player. And RNG is not as nice to them as it would be, obviously, the All-Stars or the Animals or literally any other team that I've already mentioned like this. But the the Daisy's still carrying her team all on her own, and it's very, very cool to see that. Obviously, like I talked about with the heroes, it's crazy to see how Mario carries his team and Daisy carries her team all the same. It's very great to see common teams up on the top 15-ish, top half of the top 25. And it's just very good to see from a competition standpoint. But enough about them. Moving on to the Vacuums, who skyrocket up from 21 last week. Um, they they beat the Junior Fangs. They smoked them. Not only smoked them, they blanked them out. Uh, I mean, very great showing from the Luigi Vacuums. When you have a Luigi team, you're getting a very quality team. Um, Obviously not like Bowser Jr., who I'm pretty sure, if I am correct, has all four of his teams in the top 25. But um, the speaking of Bowser Jr., they're the team that Luigi's team, Luigi the vacuum stomped. Um, yeah, no, they're a very well-rounded team. And obviously, they get a huge bump up from storming into that top 10 ranked field and just absolutely mopping the floor with them. 12 to nothing is no laughing matter. And I don't know if it was part vacuums or part fangs, but um the vacuums moving up from 21 to 12 is very deserved, and all I really want to say here. Moving on to 13, we have the gentlemen who also stay pit. Not much to talk about with them. They're pretty much the not the stereotypical, but obviously again it's another Luigi team. It's probably the definitive team. Like, I don't say this just because they're ranked 13, but even when you watch them play, they look like the perfect team, especially for on like a night in, night out basis. I mean, it's the common team, so they're subject to more RNG, like I've said. But they're on a night in, night out basis, they kind of represent the epitome of like the middle of the pack in the top 25. Like if you were to think of a 13th ranked team in the league, it's pretty much I won't say word for word, but it's pretty much exactly the same as what the Luigi gentlemen put out on a nightly basis, which is not to say they're bad. I mean, 13th on out of 48 is a very good team still. It's still almost top quarter of the league. Um, yeah, but what I see from them on a day in, day out type of night or a day in, day out type of time is that they represent the epitome of the middle of the top 25. So 14, the Flutters, they drop from eighth. Not much to say about that team. I mean, they have it is Yoshi's team. They have Boo, King Boo, Yoshi, but they also have other people like Koopa, Paratroopa, and Paragoomba. Paratroopa and Paragoomba are decent roster fillers. They're not very eh, incredible for what you see with these other forced players on these teams. Like again, the All Stars or the Animals, like I said over and over again, they're not up to that caliber. They're, if I had to put it very bluntly, far from it. But they've also kind of got a little screwed over with the RNG a little bit. The roster fillers on their team in a night in, night out kind of basis are lackluster to say the best. I mean, they've had a few. I think they had one game where it was really good, but there's not much to say about this team. I mean, they don't hold it down like uh all of all of the team you would expect to, just because they only have three players and then two roster fillers and not five players. But yeah, 15, the rookies, another one of Junior's team. Not surprised that they stay pet. Yeah, nothing really to say there. Now we're getting to our first new entry in the list, the DK Kongs. They've shot up from out of the list all the way up to 16, and they played a really good game last week. I'm not very surprised to see them on the list, especially in the top 20. I wouldn't move them into the top 15, so I feel like 16 is a perfect spot for them. They obviously got Diddy Kong, Donkey Kong, Dixie Kong, Goomba, and Koopa Troopa. Koopa, he's pretty good. I don't want to say very good. Goomba, just like Paratroopa and Paragoomba, they're they're just a guy. They're a roster filler. They're not crazy in any one area, but I would take the Goomba slash Troopa pairing over the Paragoomba Paratroopa pairing this season, just because the walks have shown a little bit more than the flies. So yeah. Uh, Speed Stars, they jump up from 19 from last week. Not much to say about them. They've done pretty good. Just to go over the team comp again, Yoshi, probably Toadette, a lot of very fast characters. It's the speed character majority team. Yeah, very great base running. They put up a good amount of points, but they're not. I mean, they're pretty great in the field because they can cover ground very quickly, but not very great in pitching. There's no arm talent. There's no batting. They put if they can get the ball into the outfield, then they could definitely get a single and then steal second and even maybe third and even maybe home because it's possible. But like that's where the majority of their points really come from. You don't expect the amount of home runs from the speed stars, much like the Mashers or the Animals or any Bowser team. And by any Bowser team, I specifically just mean the Monsters or the Black Stars or the Blue Shells or the Flames. I don't know why I said specifically that team because I just ran through all four of them. But you know, it's neither here nor there. That's um that's 17. 18, we have the Mystiques, which are new on the board this week. Very happy with the kind of offense they've put out. They're not a top tier team, but they are playing up. Waluigi's common team, it's Waluigi's not a great captain, and RNG is very unfavorable to that team on a night to night basis just because it's a common team. But yeah, it's very nice to see them play swing above their weight class, like I said earlier. But that's all for them. The Roses are also new on the board at 19, not being ranked last week. The Roses obviously have been playing good ball. Just like Waluigi's team, it's Peach's common team. Obviously, Peach is a higher caliber captain than Waluigi, but it's nice to see them kind of play not above their weight class or swing above their weight class, but just kind of play to a level where it's expected, but or it's obtainable, but it's not expected on a day-to-day basis. Like they are doing better than the average expectation, but it's not like Waluigi Mystiques where they're again swinging above their weight class. So that's all I have to say about them. Um, uh, Seeing as we are taking a long time to get through this kind of segment, I will move it along a little bit. The Fangs at 20, they drop all the way from 9. I mean, they got smoked by the Vacuums. There's not much else to say. The Fangs had a very bad week. Not only did they get smoked by the 21st ranked team as the ninth ranked team, but they've also got shut out by a pitcher that was not Boo, I'm pretty sure. Um, I can almost guarantee it wasn't Boo. But yeah, that's pretty bad. Um, that's all I really want to say about them because a little disappointed. The Islanders move up from not being ranked last week. The Pixies also move up from not being ranked last week. The Steakheads move down from 18 to 23, and then the Monsters move all the way down from 14 to 24. Very uninspiring play from the Monsters. You like to see a lot more out of them, especially being a Bowser team. You have Hammer Bro, you have Bowser Jr., and you have Dry Bones, which are Dry Bones is definitely playing up. Hammer Bro has been astoundingly great this season. Bowser Jr. is Bowser Jr., a very quality captain, and Bowser is a head and shoulders, as you will see, a head and shoulders above the rest of the competition. Face of the franchise, face of the league, literally the best player, and full stop, period. It's very disappointing play from those monsters, though. And then to finish off, we obviously have the greats. They sneak in here 25 from not being ranked. I'm pretty sure the Red Caps fell off the list a little bit. As for some other teams that I can't quite remember off the top of my head right now, but the greats they've played good ball. I mean, enough just to get them into the rankings. They don't have an particularly inspiring team. I mean, they have Waluigi, King Boo, Magic Koopa, Petey Piranha. All four of those are great players outright, but they're not amazing players, as you'll see when we get to the Butte. It's not very inspiring play from these greats, but inspiring enough to get ranked. Well, I think 25 is probably the best you're going to get from them. But what I want to say is now we can move to the top 25 matchups. So as I went over, the top 25 is obviously literally what I've been talking about for the past 30 minutes. Running through the matchups that we have going on this week are going to be the number one animals at the number 20 fangs, the number 22 pixies at the number two tails, the number three mashers at the number nine petals, the unranked explorers at the number four heroes, the number five cupids at the dynasties, the number 16 kongs at the number six bombers, the number seven mansioneers at the unranked bows, the unranked models at the number eight monarchs, the number 10 flames at the unranked princesses, the number 11 lilies at the number 19 roses, the number 12 vacuums at the unranked beauties, the unranked blue shells at the number 13 gentlemen, the unranked black stars at the number 14 flutters, the number 15 rookies at the unranked red caps, the unranked ninjas at the number 17 speed stars, the unranked wild ones, which used to be the wilds, at the number 18 mystiques, the number 24 monsters at the number 21 islanders, the number 23 steakheads at the unranked garlics, and the number 25 greats at the unranked eggs. Those are the entire rankings for this week's matchups for the top 25. I'm going to run through them real quickly, give a little analysis here and there. Number one animals versus number 20 fangs. You saw what the vacuums did to them. I expect this game to probably be 20-0. I don't see the fangs beating this team at all. I can't even foresee them getting a run. So look for the animals to stay probably number one or at least stay top five because they're not losing this game, I would say, from my expert opinion. Number 22 Pixies at the number two Tails. The Tails, again, like I said, they haven't played many very strong competition this season, but I don't think the Pixies are what we look at as strong competition. I mean, it's the strongest they've faced this season, but I don't foresee the Tails losing. Yeah, so expect the Tails to win. I can't really give a score outlook just because the Tails are such a such an unknown team just because of their strength of schedule. I don't really know how great they really are. Like the Animals, the Mashers, like they've all played relatively good teams at least once this season, so I know what I'm expecting. And speaking of the Mashers, we're going to get into the number three Mashers at the number nine Pedals. The Pedals are really good. Birdo, Dixie Kong, Wario, PD Piranha. Um, expect the Mashers probably to win. There's going to be no Waluigi or Wario. So, or no, I'm wrong, right? The Pedals. Yeah, expect there just to be no Wario. Waluigi will be playing. Still have the Mashers will still have Mario, Luigi, Toadsworth, Waluigi. Um, they're only being taken away Birdo, Dixie Kong, Wario, and PD Piranha. So if fate has it, probably it will swing in the Masher or RNG will swing in the Mashers direction. Expect them to get one of at least Yoshi, DK, or Bowser. I can just foresee it now just because of the team comps. I expect the Mashers to win that game, and I expect them to win by exactly one run. It's if they lose, it's not going to be surprising either. But the most likely outcome I foresee happening is the Mashers win by one. The number four Heroes defending home turf versus the unranked Explorers. The Heroes are literally they're not going to not benefit from RNG. I mean, the Explorers are just DK's common team, so it's literally just Mario versus Donkey Kong and eight auto roster filled players. I don't foresee the Heroes losing. They look very good this season, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they do. But expect the Heroes to win by a solid amount of runs, I would say. If you had to put one thing down, I would expect the Heroes to win by a solid amount of runs. The Dynasties defending home turf versus the Cupids. The Dynasties, they haven't been crazy this year. Tech character type or tech character majority. I don't really like the tech characters. I find them to probably be uh the worst character type just from a watching standpoint. Um and the Cupids have been very good this year. Expect them to win by a multitude of runs. Definitely at least two. Uh a lot more maybe. The number six Bombers versus the number 16 Kongs. Now, this is interesting because obviously the Bombers shot up from 12 and the Kongs are newly added to the top 25 this week. If I had to say, I really like the Bombers offense. I would expect them to win this one. Um, the Kong's relevance on the top 25 list is probably going to be short-lived. I cannot see them dropping out fully from this loss, but they'll probably definitely be hugging the or hugging the base of the iceberg there, where they're in danger of falling off. The Bows versus the Mansioneers. Mansioneers, very good team. Don't have to run through this one at all. Expect the Mansioneers to win by, again, a multitude of runs. It's just a very great compromised team. Um, you can expect very great play night in, night out. Yeah, expect the Mansioneers to storm the Bows home field and come out with a win. So far, I think I've predicted the top seven all to win their matchups, which is very presumptuous of me. But I will say I'm probably going to keep that trend with the Monarchs versus the Models because Yeah, no. I mean, the Monarchs have been playing good ball, not great ball, but they have very good team comp. They don't have, I think, if I'm positive, they have more technique slash speed characters than they do balanced characters. So the models being balanced character majority team won't affect them very much. So expect the Monarchs to win. The Flames. The Flames versus the Princesses. Uh, I would say I can't really expect them to lose. I mean, the Princesses just are they're a decent team. They haven't been showing up. Um, but I mean, eh, I do want to say no. You know what? This is actually the perfect whatchamacallit, the perfect matchup for the Flames, or not the Flames, the Princesses, because the Flames are Bowser's common team and the Peach Princesses include Bowser. So even though Baby Mario, I really don't like him as a player, he's uh, not a good baseball player, just to put it very bluntly. You're getting rid of the best player on both sides day in and day out. And I really, through nine RNG players, versus Peach, Mario, Bowser Jr. I I want to predict the upset here. I say the princesses go in, they defend home turf against the number 10 Flames, and they knock them down a couple of pegs. I don't know what the scoring outlook is going to look like. It's very hard to say, especially because I have no idea what the Flames are going to get as a team because the only definite player on the Flames is being canceled out. But yeah, no, expect the Flames to lose, I would say. Um, Number 19 Roses versus number 11 Lilies. Expect the Lilies to storm home field. The Roses are good, but I just like the Lilies a little more in this matchup. I think it's just a kind of a we'll call it a intuition because I mean they're both common teams and it's Peach versus Daisy. It's this one could go either way. I could definitely see the Roses winning, and I could definitely see the Lilies winning. So for this matchup, I'm going to say I'll honestly predict a tie. This is going to be the only tie I predict, and that's because I just like this matchup very much. None of these teams can be very talked about just because you don't know what you're going to get in that matchup. You're just going to get Peach and Daisy. And Peach versus Daisy is a great matchup to see, especially with eight randoms. I'm just definitely going to say that this is the one that ends in a tie, most likely. It probably won't, but if there had to be one team in the top 25 that ends in a tie, I would say the number 11 Lilies versus the number 19 Roses. 12 vacuums versus beauties. Vacuums stomp the beauties. Don't like what I'm seeing from the beauties this year. And the vacuums are a very, very good team. Uh, they swing above their weight class. Just expect the vacuums to come in and storm home field. The beauties, I don't think stand a chance. Blue shells versus the number 13 gentlemen. Expect the gentlemen to win. The blue shells, I'm not liking what I'm seeing from the blue shells. It's a power character majority team with Bowser as the captain, so they should be very good, but we haven't seen that. Um, we only we haven't seen anything from the blue shells. Uh, it's I mean, it's hard to say. The Blue Shells are not a good team, and the Gentlemen are a great team. I mean, Luigi probably has, if not, well, obviously not the best because we have the Mario Heroes that I just went over, but he has one of the best common teams in the league, and I expect them to continue their winning streak. 14 Flutters versus the Black Stars. Black Stars have they've they've not been doing good. Again, another Bowser team. It's very odd because all of the Bowser teams, they're not good except for like the Flames. I mean, I, I mean, yeah, no, I mean, literally all of the Bowser teams are pretty bad except for the Flames. The Blue Shells are not ranked. The Black Stars are not ranked. The Monsters, I feel like, are overrated. I mean, they shouldn't be ranked. Um, they're still ranked, which is fine. But no, I hate to keep picking the top seed, but the Black Stars are just going to lose. Number 14 Flutters are going to defend their home turf. I would say expect. I think that's another quality Boo game. I think that's vintage Boo with the 21 strikeout game he had last week. I think we see relatively the same caliber of greatness, awesomeness, amazingness that we've seen from Boo so far. So expect him to go off in that game and expect the Flutters to win. The Red Caps versus the Rookies. The Rookies are good. They are good, but I'm going to predict the Red Caps win. I don't like how they fell off the top 25 poll this week. I think they probably deserved it over the I'd honestly switch them in the Monsters, but that's just my opinion. Um I do think that I do think that the Red Caps do have a lot to prove and can definitely show you a very great night, a very offensively catered night. Every time they go out on the diamond. Yeah, no, expect the Rookies to lose, I would say. They're going to try to go in, storm home field and get not stomped, but I would say this is one of those unranked matchups where the Red Caps win by one-ish. Then we go to 17 Speed Stars defending home field versus the Ninjas. The Ninjas are not good. Another speed character majority team. I don't see the Speed Stars losing this one. Um, they're not an amazing team, but you got Yoshi, you got speed character majority versus speed character majority, but Yoshi is 10 times the captain that Diddy Kong is. And I feel like once it honestly probably will depend on who randomizes first, but I will say that expect, barring any unforeseen circumstances with the RNG, expect the Speed Stars to defend home turf. The number 18 Mystiques versus the Wild Ones. Wild Ones aren't good. Obviously, they were my Wilds from last year. So I can speak on them a little harsher than these other teams, even though I have been going pretty blunt on some teams. The Wild Ones just haven't been good this year. It's not like the Mystiques are much better, but especially being a Waluigi common team, but the Wild Ones, um, yeah, no, actually, I'm going to say the Wild Ones win this one. Mystiques, they haven't been good really either. I mean, they're a good team. They obviously deserve top 20 in the rankings, but I just I can vividly foresee the Wild Ones getting Bowser. That's all I see. If the Wild Ones get Bowser, I predict they win. And yeah, there's no more to say about that. The 21 Islanders defending home turf versus the 24 Monsters. Like I said, don't like the Monsters. This is not a personal thing, not any sleight of hand from me. I'm just saying that I do not like the product that they put on the diamond on a nightly basis. Um, It's frankly a little sloppy. I don't want to get any more bashful or um uh accusatory on the Monsters as I already have been, but I like the Islanders in this matchup, not because I think the Islanders are the better team, but because I think the Monsters are a worse team. And then we have the Garlics defending home turf versus the number 23 Steakheads. They're both Wario teams. So Wario's obviously not going to play. So it's just going to be RNG versus power character majority. I like power character majority. I go with the Steakheads. They're also ranked. They have better stats. I feel like the RNG will be a lot nicer to them. Just expect the Steakheads to win. And then the eggs versus the greats. I'm not going to touch on this one too much. I would just say expect the greats to win. I don't really believe in the eggs, it being Yoshi's common team, but the greats snuck in here for 1 week, and I think that they'll keep it just because they beat this suspect team. Um, I think that's all for the top 25 matchups. So that's good on that segment. And I think we're ready to move into the Butte. We're going back to the Butte. This week, I feel like we've had a lot of shakeup. I don't know if Mason will put up the graphic here. But you've seen from the post that the Butte has a very large shakeup. He probably will put it here just to kind of support what I'm saying. Um, for we're going from bottom to top. So for the first part, we got the Fear of Heights. This is the very bottom of the Butte. Obviously, if for anybody who didn't know, Butte is another word for a mountain or a mountaintop or a mountain peak. That's why it's called Bowser's Butte, just for alliteration. But back to the Fear of Heights. The people we have on this list are ugh, are Green Dry Bones, Blue Shy Guy, Yellow Magic Koopa, Green Shy Guy, Red Noki, Green Paratroopa, and then Baby Mario. These are the players that don't even belong on the mountain. Obviously, Fear of Heights means what it means. They would never scale the mountain. They'll never reach that butte. They'll never come anywhere close to it. Just this week, I feel like these 7 players are the bottom bin of bottom bin. This is the roster filler of the league. So yeah, hate to be harsh, but got to keep it real sometimes. Now finally on to the butte, going from the base of the mountain. We have the next tier where your expedition has just started. Now we're going for green Noki, yellow Pianta, blue dry bones, white dry bones, Monty Mole, black shy guy, um, Goomba, blue toad, and yellow toad. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say here. They're just a step above the people who don't belong on the mountain. Very roster filler kind of players, but they don't stand out. They play good baseball though. Well, they play baseball. And to the next tier we have up on your journey. Now you can't see the bottom. Baby Luigi, um, Blue Magic Koopa, Para Goomba, Dark Bones, Red Koopa Troopa, Blue Noki, Yellow Shy Guy, and Red Shy Guy. These people are also again roster filler type players. They um they they're very basic characters. They're not what do I want to say? They're not like the previous 2 tiers where they're not special in anything. They kind of just do it better than the other tiers. I mean, they're still, when I say they're not like the other tiers and they're not special in anything, I don't mean they have a distinct talent. I just mean they do everything better than the previous two tiers below them, but they don't do it good enough to where it stands out. So these are still roster filler type players, I would say. Um, Now we're approaching the halfway point. Obviously, all these characters are about to hit the halfway point of the Butte, which is going to be the next tier. But for this tier, they're looking at the halfway point. It's Green Magic Koopa, Green Koopa, Pink Pianta, Fire Bro, Blue Pianta, Red Magic Koopa, and then Green Toad and Purple Toad. These characters, they do have a distinct skill that they're better at than the others, but again, it's not great. They're well rounded in other areas, but not to the level to where you're a do it all type player. You just have the utility to play that baseball, like the field or pitching or hitting, or base running. But still not all inspiring players. Not very distinct. But I think I can finally say we're kind of nearing the end of those roster filler type players. Now heading to the halfway up point that I was talking about earlier. We have Toadsworth, Bowser Jr., Boomerang Bro, Diddy Kong, um, Red, uh, Red Paracoopa, and then Toadette. All of these players have a distinct feature about them, something that they do very well, i.e., Toadsworth batting, um, which he actually hasn't been doing crazily well, but like what I would expect. But just to say, Toadette's speed, Bowser Jr. and Diddy Kong, they have their star swings because they're captains, but I mean, they're not very great. They're not very good either. But yeah, no, these all have these all have that more distinct feature of the previous tier that still puts them up here, but not very great. Um, Now, leaving halfway up, we've hit the point of no return. For these four players, we have Wario, Dixie Kong, um, Waluigi, and Red Toad. I just want to say Red Toad has physically, mentally, and emotionally astounded me. I would honestly argue between him and Hammer Bro, which I'm going to talk about here when I get to him. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a close one, but it's literally the only two players I would even consider thinking of for a weekly MVP. Can't give it to Bowser because that's cheating, I would say. Um, but like for when we get into the awards, we're going to go over um probably what I loved just about the week. Like I'll be going over the new probably the first rankings for the yearly awards, even though we're only in week three. I would like to go over the yearly awards just because I do want to do a little preview of those. But when I do those, I probably will go into like weekly awards. And for weekly awards, MVP of the week definitely has to go either between Boomerang or not Boomerang Bro, Hammer Bro or Red Toad because they've just shown so much compared to where they were last week. And it like a very high risers type of player. I mean, Boo obviously had an historically great outing this week. Um, but it's not like we don't expect that from him because he's definitively since the beginning of the season, he's been definitively one of the best, if not the best pitcher in the league. So it's not crazy to say that either Red Toad or Boomerang or Hammer Bro is probably going to get my weekly award. Wario hasn't been playing up to snuff. Waluigi, just a tier above those lesser captains. I don't want to say lesser captains, but like those not those not as successful captains. Dixie Kong also outplaying Diddy Kong a little bit, probably the better of the Kong siblings, not counting Donkey Kong, of course. Yeah, she's been kind of overplaying her standard while Diddy's been underplaying, which is why these four characters sit at this tier. Now to move on to the next tier, these three players are approaching the final stretch. We have King Boo, Petey Piranha, and Mario. Mario is a very well-rounded player. Obviously, he's probably going to stay around one of the the list of or the tier above him, the tier below him, or the tier he's on right now. He's probably going to stay within that area or within like a 1 to 2 tier difference of where he is right now, probably for the whole season. I really don't see him falling crazily. He's probably, I hate to say this, but just as with like the 13th ranked team, he's probably the most mid captain. He's very good at everything. 30 nice plays, obviously, from last year. Um, not that that matters this season. It's just a funny inside joke. Um, but no, Mario's definitely been showing a lot of prowess, and I definitely think he's going to stay here. Petey Piranha, great bet. Not much else. King Boo, again, great bet. Not much else, but they excel at those things so greatly, so amazingly that they deserve one of these top five tiers, specifically the fifth one. Now moving on to the next tier, we have these three characters are at the base of the peak. We have Luigi, Birdo, and Peach. And I do want to say I should have prefaced this to begin the butte. These aren't in any specific order. These are tiers, not specific player rankings. But yeah, no. Luigi, great captain. Berto, great captain. Peach, great captain. They all excel in one thing, and they do everything else a little better than average. So they're not only a well-rounded player, they're a definite above average player. And this is really where you kind of see the all-stars kind of taking shape. Not to say that King Boo, Petey Piranha or Mario aren't all stars. I'm just saying that this is where you feel like definitive all star power is coming from this tier. Now we're going to move on the next tier, which these three characters are staring down the peak. We have Daisy, Hammer Bro, and Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong, probably best three, one of the best three players in the league. It's very honestly, it's kind of disappointing to see him not at the pinnacle, but I agree with where he is now, obviously, because I made the list. But um, Daisy also very great captain. Not one of the top three players like you would think. Bowser, uh, DK, Boo, or Yoshi, whichever one of those two. But she's still a very great character. She excels at more than one thing, I would say. She's pretty fast. She's pretty good with fielding, pretty good with pitching, and she's a solid bat too. So this is where we kind of have either somebody that excels so much at one thing where they're God, or they excel at everything in a heightened level. I would say this is a superstar tier. Hammer Bro, gotta love this guy. Honestly, the play that he brings night in and night out, especially this week, has been awe-inspiring. I honestly want to tear up because I believe that Hammer Bro, what he displays at the dish is the pinnacle of baseball. And very, very happy to talk about Hammer Bro being one of the top five in the league this week. Again, when I get to season awards and the preview of those, I'm going to talk about weekly awards and mainly just one weekly award because I feel like that's what it really warrants. I'll probably do a different weekly award every week, but for that actually might be a good idea. I will do a different weekly award every week, but since we're just starting it right now, when I go to the awards, I'm going to first drop my weekly MVP. And obviously, like I said, he's only one of two characters that I'm even considering for the award. So, I mean, well, I'm considering Boo too, just because of 21 strikeouts. I never considered Bowser for these awards because he'd run away with every award. Just saying. Except best pitcher. But I mean, he's still a really good pitcher. Yeah, that's enough for that tier. Now we're moving on to the pinnacle where we have Boo and Yoshi. These are probably all-star captains. Literally the best two players in the league, two of the best three, counting Bowser. Um, Boo is just such a great, not even a great pitcher. He's a historic pitcher. Not just saying that because because he had that 21 strikeout outing this week, but just to put it in perspective, I think the season high for K's last year by a player was 36 and or 35. And Boo hit three-fifths of that in one game. So he was six strikeouts away from an immaculate game, like the pinnacle of pitching. So I mean, this guy's just he excels so great at pitching that it's just hard not to see him at the pinnacle of this butte and the face of this league. Yoshi, very great, well-rounded character, amazing base running, amazing speed, very decent bat. Slap shot home runs are super not even possible. They're probable with Yoshi. Very great fielder. This Yoshi is the prime example. See, the pinnacle is great because the two players at the pinnacle are one, you do something so well that you're historically great at it. You have that one defining feature that nobody will touch you in years. You'll probably never lose this kind of luster. Like you're on a historic tear. And then we also have, which is Bill, obviously. And then we also have a differing character in Yoshi to where he excels at everything so great to where he's pretty much the perfect prototype player. I mean, it's so differing. We have two very differing philosophies in baseball, and it's just I feel so blessed just to see this pan out. It's so great to watch on a day-to-day basis. And then obviously, well, not obviously because this is a new tier. Um, Above the pinnacle, we obviously have heaven, uh, or obviously God, which is Bowser. I mean, couldn't even put him on the pinnacle this week because he's just that good. I think he's probably uh I wouldn't be crazy in saying this, but I would probably bet money that he has tripled the bases this season that number two does. So I don't know who that is. I don't know what the numbers are, but I would bet that Bowser is probably winning in every statistical batting category that could ever exist. He's just head and shoulders above the rest. I mean, I give a lot of praise to Boo and Yoshi, but Bowser is just a whole different beast. Not to no pun intended, but he's just made for this game. Like this is it. You watch him and it literally looks like you're watching Babe Ruth play against Pee Wee ball players. It's crazy to see the amount of just level disparity that Bowser has over everyone else. And that's including Boo and Yoshi. Like Bowser's here. Everyone else is down here. It's crazy. But that's it for this edition of the Butte. Obviously, Mason will probably have the Butte edited in. If he doesn't, then just cut out this part. Now moving on to my next thing for today. I want I wanted to go over player highlights like I said, but this is also getting a little long and I'm only halfway through what I want to do. So, and I gave very solid player highlights, especially with the players that I wanted to highlight, like Hammer Bro, Yoshi, Boo, Red Toad. I've given everybody their props, and everybody that doesn't deserve their props or doesn't deserve their flowers, Baby Mario, obviously has caught some slack there, or caught some flack there, is what I meant to say. So yeah, I'm gonna for this week, I'm gonna skip over the player highlights and move on straight to the awards. Um, Obviously, my one weekly award for this week is going to be weekly MVP. And like I've been saying this entire podcast, I wanted to consider Boo. Um, I'm only really deciding between Red Toad and Hammer Bro. Not to discredit Boo. Very historic game he's pitched, but you kind of expect that. Well, not expect that from him, but you expect him to have a best pitcher caliber game every night. And it's great to see that he's exceeded best pitcher in the league caliber game on that very night. But it just feels better and feels more right to just consider either Hammer Bro or Red Toad because they're just so so unthought of, so like I would never consider them. Even though that Hammer Bro was astoundingly good last season, I just really wouldn't think that the transfer over to this season he would keep it going, but he did. Especially in the Masters game, he mashed. He mashed very well. I'm pretty sure he had 4 home runs, 3 home runs, 4 for 4 batting if it wasn't 4 home runs. I think he had 3 home runs and a double, 8 RBIs. He out RBI'd the entire other team, and that was a literal top five team. So yeah, um, I think debating over it right now, I'm going to give my weekly MVP to Hammer, bro, just because it's crazy to see what he did. I don't want to say I'm biased just because I picked the guy that helped them single-handedly carried the Mashers to their win this week. But I don't want to discredit Red Toad's outing. He moved up 3 tiers in the Butte this week. Very stellar play from Red Toad, and I really look forward to seeing him continue it. But for right now, for this week, the weekly MVP is going to go towards Hammer Bro. Now to get to the yearly award previews, we have the Luigi Moment of the Year, the Underrated Player of the Year, the Most Improved of the Year, or the Most Improved Player, obviously. The Martin Koopa Award, which is Best Batter, the Yoshi Glove Award, which is Best Fielder, and then the Cy Young Award, which is Best Pitcher, and then the MVP and Manager of the Year. Um, so let's get into it. Moment of the year. I really can't say what moment of the year is. I mean, an early contender would probably be the Toadette walk-off in the 11th. That was very, very crazy game. Um, I don't want to discredit anything else. I can't really remember anything that stuck out to me off the top of my head, not barring the Toadette walk-off. Um, I feel like another contender for moment of the year is just every time that Bowser gets to the plate, because it's very rare. I mean, it's happened. If you watch every game this year, you can see it's happened multiple times that he will either fly out, ground out, strike out. I think he struck out once this year, at least, or just not slam it over the jumbotron in the back, uh, like he usually does. But I still feel like Bowser gets up and literally everybody knows that he's going yard. So honestly, front runner for the actual Luigi moment of the year, I would say, is the Toadette walk off. But if we were having more of a satirical kind of debate here, I would argue that every time Bowser steps up to the plate is in there too. Underrated player of the year. Oh yeah, I want to give my flowers to Lil Boom last season. He was the one who won Luigi moment of the year. I'll give my flowers to whoever won the award last year, probably every week, just because I don't want them lost to the test of time. Because some of these players don't exist in the league anymore. But I do want to say that the underrated player of the year, probably the outlook for this year, I would say, uh, honestly, Red Toad has to be up there. Red Toad, I could be having recency bias, but I would really like to argue that Red Toad is um probably going to be up there for underrated player of the year. Want to give my flowers to Brown Me. He won it last year. Um, but yeah, I can't really think about anything else. Um, we have the most improved player. Still a lot of baseball to go. It's very hard to pick kind of defining front runners as of now. Um, Most improved player, probably gotta say Yoshi. He was it was literally it was he was good last year. He wasn't great, but he was good. And but like now he's literally top three player in the league. I would definitely say the most improved is probably going to Yoshi, just because everybody in like the top six, as we went over in the Butte, or like those top three tiers, they were good last year. I mean, well, if we're allowing Bowser into this, I would say Bowser. But if we're looking at it, because I mean, literally Bowser's God in this game, and he was kind of mid in the last season. But yeah, I would also say Yoshi for that one. Um, Also, Baby Luigi won that award last year, so I want to give my flowers to him. Um, the Morton Koopa Award, Dark Bones won that last year. All my flowers to him. But I don't think he's going to win it again this year because the one dishing behind the plate, Morton Koopa Award again. Bowser would obviously be the front runner. Literally probably like 300 bases at this point, and it's only like week three. He's played what, 10 games, 12 games, 15 games. It's hard to keep track because of RNG. But nah, he's definitely a front runner. If we're not considering Bowser, which I don't see why we wouldn't be. I would definitely give it to probably Hammer Bro. I mean, Yoshi's been great with his slap shot home runs, but Hammer Bro, again, recency bias probably is hitting me here. But Hammer Bro has just been a monster behind the plate all year. And for right now, for the very early outlook of this season, I would say he's probably the front runner, if not for Bowser. The Yoshi Glove Award, want to give my flowers to Mario. Again, 30 nice plays. I do want to say that probably the best fielder this year, I would say, is Yoshi, or at least from what I can remember, what I'm saying, I would say the front runner would be Yoshi. Obviously not Bowser. Um, yeah, like I just it's really all I can think of off the top of my head. Probably Daisy too. She's been pretty good in the field. But yeah, if Yoshi or Daisy, probably my front runners, my two front runners for that award. Shy Young, Boo won it last year. I'm going to give my props to him, and I'm going to definitively say right now he'll win it this year too. There's obvious like Peach. Peach is probably the second best pitcher in the league. She's a very good pitcher, probably great pitcher. Definitely great pitcher, but I do not see her coming up on Boo at all. Again, recency bias might be killing me here, but Boo is such a great pitcher. He was such a great pitcher last year and is still dominating this year. I would say definitively that not only is he my front runner, he is my shy young lock. And I will be saying this every week. Now, moving on to the MVP, I want to give my flowers to Daisy. Congratulations to you. You won the MVP last year. Obviously, you went out, partied, had your own little celebration. We had the award nights. MVP, probably Bowser again. If we're not considering Bowser, then I would probably say Yoshi, just because he does everything so well, and he lends himself to so many winning teams. Not like that he's not forced to because he's on like some of those teams as like a necessary character. But like DK too. DK is probably a front runner for MVP as well as he was last year. Um, but yeah, if I could only go into if I could only go into three MVPs, I'll probably say Bowser, Yoshi, DK. Dark horse MVP candidate, Boo, just because he's that good at pitching. I would honestly argue that even though that he doesn't fit the criteria of most valuable player just because he's not great in everything, I would still say that's just a testament to how great his pitching is. Definitely dark horse MVP candidate. It's not most well-rounded player, it's most valuable player. And I feel as of this moment, Boo's pitching not only is indelible to every person that benefits from it, but single-handedly wins you games. Single-handedly wins you games where you don't even have an offense. You could probably you could put you could put Boo on probably three-fourths of the teams that are unranked, and they'd probably be ranked just because you don't need defense. You just need people that can catch a fly ball, and then boom, that's your pitcher. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but well, actually, you can't correct me if I'm wrong because this is a projection. But I predict that Boo is going to be the only pitcher that finishes the majority of his games as a complete game. I, which is to say that Boo is going to lead the league in complete games. He's probably going to lead the league in strikeouts. He's probably going to lead the league in ERA. Like every pitching set, he'll probably lead in. Just like Bowser is with hitting, Boo is with pitching. And then the Manager of the Year award last year went to the Lilies. I'm probably going to throw this up to the. I'm going to throw this up to the Heroes probably as of right now, just because they're a top five team, and it's a common team with Mario. as you know from last year, Mario was horrendous behind the plate. All he could do was field. Literally only thing he could do was field. And uh that's the only definite person on your team. You don't have any other definite players because it's Mario's common team. But to see the turnaround as of now for a Mario common team, like I hear Mario common team, and if this was preseason ranking, I'd probably put them 45 out of 48. That's just how much I think that a Mario common team would sell in this league. And they're top five. They're they're literally top five. I mean, there's nothing more to say. Uh, I I definitely think that Manager of the Year award, it's not it's not it's not guaranteed like Cy Young, but I would say my one definitive front runner right now is the Heroes Manager. I want to give a clap to them. Very great great showing you're putting on here. But yeah, no, that's going to be it for the weekly awards or the yearly award lookout. And hopefully Mason can put in some like sirens or something here. But we have big breaking news from the head honcho himself. Our broadcaster, our sports analyst, Mason Verna here, i.e. the commissioner. Uh I want to say breaking news. After learning about their placement in the top 25, the Monarchs manager reportedly smashed the TV. Gotta imagine that that team will be fired up this week. I love to hear that. Love to hear that. Now, um, just just going to reflect on on the Monarchs, the Monarchs matchup this week. I think I said the Monarchs are going to win because obviously you would expect them to. Number 8 seed versus the unranked models. Um, I don't like the models very well. Um, but no, I mean, yeah, the Monarchs, I would say probably, especially according to this news, they're going to be fired up. Can't say they're going to win, can't predict anything, but as I've already said, what, like 45 minutes ago at this point, um expect that to be a heated matchup. It's definitely going to be a matchup worth your time. I would definitely watch that. Um Definitely have to look through the front office there with the Monarchs manager, keep a close eye on him. Definitely a very boisterous being. Um, Likes to wear his heart on his sleeve, as you can hear with the whole bulletin board material going on within the Monarchs Club. Uh, I did want to talk about one more piece of drama that I've heard throughout the grapevine in this league. I want to talk about the Steakheads and the Fireballs. They demanded to be in the same block to keep their rivalry alive, saying the Fireball's new GM is quoted saying eggs were never a rival, which is crazy to say. Um, uh, Considering that the Fireballs were the Fireballs last season, to say the eggs were never a rival when they were what, top four, top five team in the league. I'm pretty sure dominated your every matchup. Is very crazy. Um, I'm not judging anybody from what they want to say. I just want to put this on record as something that they did say. So it's put down for everyone to see. You could prove me wrong, Fireballs manager. I just I just don't see the thought process behind this. Eggs were the eggs and the fireballs were the fireballs. Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, no, that's really it. Uh, but no, I don't like to harp on all the drama. So I think I'm gonna keep this keep this a little drama segment a little short. Just want to get the kind of controversial information out into the air. Tell you all what's going on behind the league or behind the scenes in the league, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't want to. I want to be very transparent with you all. Give you all the facts up front. But yeah, no, that's probably the most prevalent stories from today or this week. There was another story whispering going down through the grapevine that the rookie managers say that only team that could hold a candle to our fire last year was the Wilds, and we will make a deep run again this year. Which uh, I'm very flattered to say because I built the Wilds last year from the ground up. But no, the rookies were very good last year. Literally very good last year. I thought they were a lock to be the champions, and then the Daisy Flowers took over, and well, you all know how that went. Um, but no, uh, the the Bowser Jr. rookies, great team, amazing team last year. Not as good this year, obviously. It's not very hard to see that, but I would not be surprised if they do make a deep run. Um, I'd also wouldn't be surprised if they didn't make the playoffs, honestly. Um, very great team, very great manager over there. Wild ones, obviously very great last year, not as great this year, um, but still a great team overall. Wish them the best of luck. I wish the new manager over there all the success in the world. Um, a team very near and dear to my heart. But I don't hold any biases here. I try to keep it as objective as possible. But I do just want to use this segment to give my love letter to the Wilds. Very fond of that team. Very sad I couldn't use my 5 me strategy, my 3 critter strategy that I was planning for this season. But also very happy with how my masters are doing and the change of scenery for me. Um, ending this segment off, ending the story off with thank you to the rookies manager again. Very flattered to say that the wild ones were the only ones that could hold a candle to you. Um, but yeah, that's probably going to be it for all the drama. And I think that it will be probably good enough to get back to my final my final segment for today. My one big thing. Um Now I did preface this one or not preface. I did make this one big thing segment last week, a testament to the commissioner and everything he does. I want to thank I just want to thank the commissioner again. Thank you, Mason, for putting on all this, keeping all this together, staying dedicated to this. I want to thank Joey and Giovanni for keeping it all together, kind of going through the motions with these things, just how I am and how Mason is. Thank you guys for that. Shout out to everybody who owns a team. It's a very great league we run here. I'm very blessed to have a platform to talk about this amazing league. And I just want to thank again the kind of core four group that keeps the social media aspect of this league alive and thriving. So thank you guys, and thank you for everybody who keeps this league alive while owning a team. So that's that. My actual one big thing for this week, I do want to talk about the rise of Red Toad. Um, I'm going to dedicate this part specifically to Red Toad just because I think it garners Red Toad segment. Hammer Bro, obviously, uh, great guy, amazing bet, did so well this week, but Red Toad is very inspiring because um, consider consider the preseason rankings, consider the last Butte. I mean, if I'm correct in this, the Red Toad in the last Butte was literally the second to last tier, and now he's like the fifth. So I think not only is his game inspiring, not only is his game amazing to watch, but it's inspiring too. He definitely came out with a lot of power, definitely came out with a lot of determination, and kind of you can tell he's been grinding on the getting on the old grindstone in batting practice, swinging away at a couple of balls. It's really paying off. You can see his kind of caliber of play on the field pay off with the practice he gets night in night out just by himself. He's a very hard nosed worker, and he's one of the roster filler players turned turned very decent very decent piece in this league. Probably not a star, obviously, but very great role player. Not a roster filler, not just a guy. He's very good. Red Toad is very inspiring, and I would like to dedicate my one big thing this week to him. Um, expect more, mostly more like unrelated baseball things to be this one big thing. Obviously, I'm going to tie it back into baseball, but it's not going to be like Red Toad or or something else. Like expect it to be more of like the love letter to the commissioner and what and everything he does here, or the love letter to everybody who owns a team in the league. I wanted to reserve this slot just to talk about something non-baseball related, and then relate it back to baseball, or talk about something vaguely baseball related. But for right now, since I can't really uh sit down and get the time to think of a one big thing, because that I have to do all myself. I can't really get like the commissioner to help me get stats or the other guys to help me get stats. Um, I do do this one big thing off the top of my dome. It's everything I think of, but also uh it's just a good way to kind of get thoughts down, get this little segment here just for anything, you know. If you have anything you want me to talk about in the one big thing, put it down in the comments. I'll probably, if I can't think of anything vaguely baseball related or non-baseball related for this one big thing, and I do get comments, I will convert the one big thing that week into into viewer comments, or talking about things you guys submit. So there's that. Um, yeah, no, I think that is a very great way to end off this segment and this whole podcast for this week. So I know it was a lot longer than last time. I had a lot of time to record this, seeing as it's so late at night. It's almost 1 in the morning. But I achieved everything I wanted to. I did want this to go for like an hour and 30 hour or 2 hours. I just want a lot of time just to kind of reflect on the week, the matchups, the players, and things to come. Um, but no, I think I achieved everything here. And as I always like to say, if that didn't prove to you that I know ball, I don't know what will. So I'll see you all next week, and I'm signing off for this podcast. Have a great one.